Can we or can we not glorify the Holy Spirit? Can we or can we not bring attention to the Holy Spirit? I have heard some messages that say the Holy Spirit will not speak about himself. So he will not bring attention to himself. And he will not glorify himself and only glorify Jesus. Where does this idea come from? Is this even biblically correct? This idea actually comes from certain translation versions of John chapter 16, verse 13 and 14. I will first talk about verse 13. Once we correctly explain verse 13, we can then understand verse 14. John chapter 16, verse 13. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. So, the idea that Holy Spirit will not glorify and speak about himself is derived from verse 13, where it says that the Holy Spirit will not speak of himself. What happened is that some people think Holy Spirit will not speak of himself means Holy Spirit will not speak about himself. They wrongly understand the word of as about. The word of does not mean about most of the time. The word of usually means from. For example, when we say the Prince of Thailand, what we mean is the prince from Thailand. If we say that King Solomon is the son of King David, that means King Solomon is the son from King David, and not King Solomon is the son about King David. So the phrase Holy Spirit will not speak of himself actually means Holy Spirit will not speak from himself. Let us now look at the Greek word for of in the phrase Holy Spirit will not speak of himself. The Greek word is apo, meaning from and not about. So the phrase should read as the Holy Spirit will not speak from himself. In Greek, there is another word for about, which is the word peri. An example is John chapter 16, verse 8. And when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. The word of that came out 3 times in the verse is the word peri, which means about. So, John chapter 16, verse 8 can be read as, and when he is come, he will reprove the world about sin, and about righteousness, and about judgment. So, there is another word for about. So, coming back to John chapter 16, verse 13. The phrase is definitely not Holy Spirit will not speak about himself.